bisexual people of Reddit, what are the biggest differences between having a relationship with a man and with a woman? In my experience, relationships with men move a lot slower than relationships with women. In a relationship with men we talk for several weeks, then we date for a month before we even discuss defining the relationship. With women, you go on 2 dates, and then she has a drawer at your place. Is it because guys don't want to rush into stuff? Is it that the sex comes faster with women? And if that's the case, is that because there is no penetration or the sex is just safer or no chance of pregnancy? Please, don't let me offend you. I'm just curious and have no point of reference because I'm a straight man. As a man, men who've only dated women before are really easy to impress. I bought my ex dinner a few times and he just about lost his mind because no one had done that for him before. I've heard lesbians say the same thing about women. So I think it's more of a societal expectation thing than anything else. The whole who buys dinner debate still just blows my entire mind. Me and my BF just switch off if we can remember who paid last. Haha, we don't go out that often, and it makes it also much easier to deal with. Nobody really pays more than the other and there isn't some big to do about who's supposed to buy. I had a girl break it off after the first date because I didn't fight hard enough to pay. I offered to pay. She said no, it's fine. We both work and have good jobs. I asked again. She again insisted that it was fine and to split. I said okay, and we split it. Later she was angry because I didn't keep trying to convince her not to pay and should have forcefully paid for it myself. Like, now I'm too old for that. I'm past the point of playing games. We are mature adults and should like it. I had a conversation with a female coworker about this after she did the same thing on one of her dates. The conversation went, it's his fault for not fighting to pay more. No, it's your fault for lying about wanting to pay. My GF walks around naked more than my ex-BF. Most guys feel awkward having their parts dangling in the breeze, even if it's with someone who has seen them before. Right. Been with my husband for 10 years. He still cups his junk whenever he's naked. Meanwhile, mine likes to randomly enter the room and windmill his dick at me. I see you are dating gentleman and a scholar. I could share clothes with my girlfriend. Now I just steal my male fiance's clothes. My wife and I shared clothes. I'm a woman. Like we didn't really have separate stuff outside of pants as we were a different size there. Tops, socks, everything else was just ours. It's super awesome sharing clothes. I'm so tired of the financial advantages that gay/lesbian couples have. The government should give straight people a tax break to even this outrageous inequity out. P.S. I'm quite drunk. So just in case it didn't come out this way, I meant this as a joke. No one is stopping you from wearing your other gendered partner's clothing. Close bracket. When you do this, and you happen to enjoy it just a bit too much, so you keep doing it, until after a few months of introspection and self-doubt you realize you are trans. I'm fine. From my experience at least, WLW relationships tend to move faster. I can't explain it. Like, when I was with my ex we were so ride or die since day one. Saying I love you after less than a month together. Very intense overall. Also, unfortunately, sometimes you get to realize how much bias and prejudice your friends and family might secretly hold. With men, I never had something like that. There were a lot more downtime, I guess. Also, no fear about having to go out while holding hands or introducing to the family. Although, aside from a few things, I think it's very different overall because people are different. Yeah, no, like my ex was very extroverted and my BF is very introverted. So the dynamic changes because of that too. Isn't it a stereotype that two women who are in a relationship move in together almost right away? What does a lesbian bring to a second date? A U-Haul. What does a gay man bring to a second date? What second date? I'm a gay man, and I felt this. We are here for ya bud. With most of the women I dated, gifts/acts of kindness were an everyday thing. Like, I'd make an extra stop for something they liked, and it wouldn't be a big deal to them. Every single guy I have dated has lost their minds over the little things. When my husband and I first started dating, I stopped and got him a slushie while I got gas. Not even an extra stop. I just set it in front of him at his apartment and you'd have thought it was the holy grail. When my wife was my girlfriend, she worked at Edible Arrangements. When she's come over to my place after work, she's bring me 3 bags of fresh fruit and smoothies. My girlfriend came with smoothies. I mean, come on. My girlfriend came with smoothies. Thank you for the tip. I'll have to give it a try. Instructions unclear. Dick stuck in blender. There should be a button marked that stands for backwards. Press B on your blender so it pushes your dick out. IDK. I've been myself my entire life. Don't worry. You're just on stand B. Just who come up with these arbitrary puns? Yeah. They are to come be. These jokes are so corny I'm leaving good be. The biggest gender-based difference I've experienced is how other people look at / treat your relationship. Yeah, this. Hetero I can walk around all day holding hands. Occasional kiss. No big deal. Same gender and even holding hands is suddenly an invite for catcalls. Verbal abuse and the always terrifying shouts out of moving cars. Social expectations are totally different. Hetero and people can't help but ask about weddings and kids before they even know you. Homo and it's probably a phase. Practically no recognition that your partner is even significant to you. That's changing though. Getting better bit by bit emo. Homo and it's probably a phase. Practically no recognition that your partner is even significant to you. This is so true. When my straight friends enter a relationship everyone is like, oh wow, you gonna move in? Gonna get married? Can you imagine what your kids look like? Meanwhile when I'm in a relationship it's treated like a quirky story. Careful what you wish for. But I completely understand. My sister is lesbian and her relationships are treated completely differently to mine in exactly the same way you've experienced. Although part of it is definitely the culture of where we live. And it's getting better over the years for sure. That's weird. When any lesbian I know starts dating my first question is, so, who's moving and with who, and will you need help moving? You know the U-Haul lesbian thing. Totally true. I get so close so fast with other women. While for men it took me 3 years to get my now husband warmed up to the idea of marriage. With my ex-girlfriend before him, she was ready to settle down and get married after like 2 months. Otherwise I'd say I actually do prefer relationships with women. But they can get more intense than relationships I've had with men. But that's not always a good thing. You know the U-Haul lesbian thing? No, I do not. What is the U-Haul lesbian thing? The common joke is, what do lesbians bring on the first date? A U-Haul. Making fun of the fact that lesbians often jump into commitment. Second date. The joke is they bring a moving truck on the second date. And the corollary joke for men is Q. What does a gay man bring on the second date? A. What second date? If I'm with a guy, I can hold hands with him, and people will assume he's my boyfriend. If I'm with a woman, I can hold hands with her, and people will assume she's my sister. Bonus points for a guy asking if he can join in whenever you introduce a woman as your girlfriend. Met this B girl in college who told me about how a guy we both were acquainted with said that's kinda sexy. Guys like that. When she told him she was B, we referred to him as guys like that for the rest of the year when he wasn't in earshot. Like, dude, it's a sexuality. It's not about whether or not guys like it, lol. This is the reason I refuse to go to straight clubs. I can't dance with my GF without some dude trying to get between her and I to join. I've been to gay clubs and have had guys grind up on me when I dance with another female. I dance with my gay male friend, oh, and no one bothers me. Actually, for me, I have had nicer men at the straight clubs. I found men are more direct, but women show more non-sexual affection. What level B am I if I want both? I'm a B woman, and to be honest the biggest difference for me is other people's perception of my relationship. When I date men I don't get the same 21 questions from strangers and family members as to why I've made the choice to date that person. Also, once when I was dating a woman, my step-grandma asked me not to hold her hand or kiss her at Thanksgiving dinner so that it wouldn't confuse the children. They've never asked me to withhold public affection from male partners. I think I've dated more men than women long term, because it was the path of least resistance. Do you, as a B woman, have any issues dating a B man? I find women don't accept me at all, and so I often look for B women. But even then there is little acceptance. First off, happy cake day. Secondly, I have no issues dating a B man, and have been lucky enough to date a couple of them. I've experienced this same kind of thing while trying to date women of the lesbian variety, though. They'll say that they just think it's gross that I've been with men, and that they couldn't be in the same place that a man has been, and that B women are greedy and can't make up their minds. All that kind of weird crap. So maybe it's along the same lines and some folks just aren't as accepting of other people's sexuality as you would hope they'd be. I guess that, while I'm generally masculine, I'm incredibly sensitive at times. Very sensitive, and I think B women seem to be less judgmental and more supportive about teamwork and getting through it together. Straight women feel the guy always has to be rugged and unsensitive, and gay guys it can go either way. Hey, you're beautiful. Remember that. Don't feel like being sensitive is a flaw. I recently watched a TV show, Steven Universe, and at the finale I was literally streaming tears onto my pillow. It's amazeballs as far as non-hetero children's shows can be. Please everyone watch it. I'm a straight man, and I hope that we can all destigmatize all the stereotypes we have about men and women and all that jazz. Be you. Be beautiful. Make the world a better place. I'm a small human, and when I date women they're mostly my size. But men are usually at least 6 taller and have 50 pounds on me. There are a lot of physical differences with cuddling and sex with partners of different sizes. I love that men can pick me up when I want them to, and that I get to feel tiny and safe with men I trust. With women, it's more equal, so we switch back and forth between being the cuddler and the cuddly. Also with women, we usually take turns getting attention and orgasming during sex, whereas with men it's more likely to be just one effort. Neither men nor women can get me off though. That I have to do myself. Drive. Ruth, the sex doc, has some good books about teaching someone you are with how to pleasure you, and also about not masturbating for a while so you become sensitive to someone else. PFFT. Not masturbating just makes it difficult for me to get interested at all. I would love to know, but I'm a bisexual that never dated anyone before. Edit. Thank you for all the upvotes. I didn't expect to get any, but most importantly, thank you for your advices and support. I needed it. Relatable. We cast the widest net, but still failed. I've dated more women than men, but both of the guys were way easier and more direct than any of the women were. Sex with a guy is easier to get started. Literally you can be playing video games on the couch and suddenly you're both horny and going for it. Women need more prep time. Generally, it's almost never 0 to 100 in a flash. It's slower to get started and longer to reach the finish. But in my opinion it is more satisfying when you both get there. Culturally it is easier to date women as it isn't immediately seen as taboo by most people. Almost nobody will bat an eye if you kiss as hetero in public, but you'll get a look or two if you're the same gender. These have been my experiences, and in no way do I think it is universal. Just the folks that have been nice enough to date me. OMG yes, I'm great at flirting with women, but terrible at keeping romantic relationships with them. I'm female. Because after the initial sexy times I'm so shy about reinitiating, it tends to just settle back into a close, flirty friendship pattern. Whereas with men I can just start sending signals and they help hit the gas. I understand what you mean about getting shy with reinitiating. This was a major problem for me until I figured out the perfect solution is a drunken 2 AM text that reads ABBY want some duck. Works pretty well. I can't borrow my boyfriend's clothes and shoes as easily lol. As a bisexual man, it's awesome to be little spoon and actually fit. I know that's probably not what you're looking for, but it's the first thing that came to mind. Can't agree more. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.